Good morning, everybody. This video is going to be on this here Cub Cadet string trimmer. Don't remember what model it is off the top of my head, but I will look. It's going to be carburetor and fuel lines, and it's just carburetor and fuel lines. I have other work to do with it, but I don't know if I'm going to be recording it because I'm pretty sure the recoil needs fixed up, but might just need some lubrication. I don't know. Yeah, today's video has been structured by Hipa parts, and they sent me the carburetor. This kit comes with the carburetor, gaskets, fuel lines, and fuel filter, and a air filter, which isn't for this exact model, but the carburetor and everything else works just fine. It's just a different airbox style, so I didn't get a filter for it. As you can see, it's a very, very good quality carburetor. Showing all the sides here. You're going to need a T20 Torx or a flathead to take those two screws out. Once you have those two screws out, you can pull the airbox off. Sometimes it's stuck to the carburetor, or the carburetor stuck to the engine part, you know. Turn a little bit, pull that throttle cable out of there, and then just break the lines off if they're... These ones aren't terrible, but they just popped right off, so they were definitely starting to harden up. This here I'm showing that the throttle is a bit stuck. And by a bit stuck, I mean it was frozen solid. Couldn't even pull the trigger on the thing. It was terrible. Very much probably fixable, but I figured it would be easier to just get the whole kit and everything and show everybody how to do it. Make sure that little O-ring seal deal is still intact. Take the cap off here. You're going to want to use some any pliers that reach into the tank. I have these from Harbor Freight. They're just Pittsburgh brand, just some generic pliers. They're long nose and they're 45-degree tips, so they're really good for prying things or getting in there at the angle that you need to get in there. And here in a second, I end up cutting this one and pulling it out from the tank. Yeah, you can just use scissors if you need to. I just have these for quicker use, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, pull it out of there. And that actually had a foam filter on it, which I've never really seen before, other than old chainsaws. So whoever redid those fuel lines before used the foam filter, which I'm not against, but it's mainly for, you know, big particles. Like that should still let tiny particles through because it's just foam. Now we have the fuel line. They give you plenty of fuel line in this kit for what you need to do. You want to cut that at 45 and then stick it down through far enough you can reach it. Pull a little bit out with your pliers. This is going to be the return line, so you'll need about an inch sticking into the tank just to make sure it doesn't ever get caught on something and pull all the way out. And you're going to want to cut it about where I cut it, just so you know you have enough. The filter line, you're going to want to do the exact same thing, but you're going to want to pull a few inches, sorry about that, out of the tank, and put, like, you're going to want to cut it straight across, and then put the filter on, and then stick it back in the tank. So once you got that pulled out far enough, I was having trouble seeing here, so I had to turn it, angle it around. Yeah, you just want to use that and pull that fuel line out. And you want to cut it straight like I talked about earlier. You have a nice flat sealing surface, and stick the filter on there. And you want to make sure the line goes as far down as it'll possibly go. Make sure it forms over it and shrinks down proper, and make sure it'll stay there. So this one I did pretty far down on the thing, so it should stay on there. Just push it down in the tank, make sure it sits flat on the bottom there. Now that your fuel lines are done, we're almost done. I'm going to jump here to cutting the fuel line. You want it about the same length as the other one, because both fuel ports are right next to each other. Go ahead and put that cap back on there now. Here I was showing which ports are what. So the top one is the output, the return line, and the bottom one is the fuel inlet line, so the filter line. And for a second I had these confused, and then those are proper the way I did that there. So just stick that on there like that. The little Z-bend pressed on piece at the end of the cable, you just turn either the cable or the carburetor, just stick it in there. Turn it, it'll stay in there. And here, I was holding it up there. I was, I don't know. I always get confused on like what to do exactly next. Usually I have it down to a science if I'm not recording, because I'm just in the way of where a camera would be. So here you go. Put the fuel lines on. Return line first. Now I had that sitting up there. It won't stay though. Usually I can get it to hang up there. And that one just cut about the same length. Stick it on there. I'm going to put the gasket on the air box. Stick the screws through there. And then hook up a throttle cable. Thread the bolts in, or the screws in a couple of threads. That way it'll stay there. And then finish it off with your flathead or Torx. Get them snug down. They don't need to be super tight, as long as they make a good seal. Stick your air filter back in there. And then this has two locating pins. You have to just slide it around there until you get them on there. Move it around and then tighten that screw up. This one here ended up stripping out on the handle there. Little thumb screw deal. So I had to just press it back on there and hold it. So, yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you replace the carburetor and fuel lines on this Cub Cadet string trimmer. So, everybody have a nice day. Like, comment, subscribe.